Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something huge in the pharmaceutical industry, a transformation they're calling Pharma 4.0. And this isn't just some minor update, it's a fundamental shift in how drugs are discovered, made, and even delivered.
It truly is. And the core challenge for every single company going through this, moving to AI, digital tools, all of it. It sounds simple, but it's immensely difficult.
Which is?
How do you completely rewire your workforce to use all this amazing tech while still, maintaining the absolute gold standard of regulatory compliance?
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive. We want to cut through all that complexity and give you, the listener, a blueprint. We've gone through the research to figure out exactly what skills are needed, what new roles are emerging, and the biggest question of all for executives, do we retrain our own people or do we go out and hire?
And what just jumps out from the data is that the success of Pharma 4.0, it all comes down to people. It's not the technology itself.
Not the bottleneck.
Not at all. Traditional roles are changing fast, new ones are popping up, and if you want to succeed, you need this blend, this synergistic mix of deep pharma knowledge plus digital skills. It's the new ticket to entry.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's start with the foundational skills. When you look at what's in demand, it seems like data scientists and analytics professionals are right at the top of that list.
They absolutely are. Data science is what drives all the strategic decisions in a digital factory now. But what's fascinating here is that a standard data scientist, say from a tech company, they're not automatically suited for pharma.
So why not? I mean, a data scientist is a data scientist, right? What's the risk if they don't have that deep domain knowledge?
The risk is massive. We're talking massive regulatory risk and just irrelevance. A pharma data scientist has to blend all the advanced stats, Python, R, machine learning, with a really deep understanding of manufacturing, of quality management, of all the stringent regulations.
So if they find an amazing insight but don't get the GMP context,
And that insight is useless, or worse, it could actually be dangerous.
and the research points to these 8 core competencies, which I found fascinating. It's not just asking for technical skills, it's demanding things like entrepreneurial and intrapreneurial thinking.
Exactly. You need people who can challenge how things are done, but do it ethically from the inside. And if you want to know what really separates the best from the rest, it's 2 things: bioinformatics and regulatory intelligence. That's how you really make a mark in this space.
Okay, so moving from the data people to the hardware people. Automation engineers
Yeah.
and technical specialists, they're the ones putting in the robots, the control systems.
Yep, they are the controls people. They need to be fluent in PLCs, HMIs, SCADA systems. These are basically the dedicated computers and software that run everything on the factory floor. But their job has evolved so much.
I'm guessing the arrival of AI changes everything for them.
It does, completely. Their role is way beyond traditional controls now. They need skills in advanced algorithms and predictive analytics, and another thing the research really highlights, they need amazing communication skills.
To translate the complexity.
Exactly. They have to explain these incredibly complex new systems to operators who might be used to just pushing a green button.
Which brings us perfectly to that third group,
Yeah.
the indispensable domain experts,
Right.
the SMEs. These are the people who live and breathe good manufacturing practice, validation, pharmaceutical chemistry.
They're the anchors, the absolute critical bridge between the tech teams, the coders, the AI people, and the people actually running the facility. They make sure that whatever cool digital tool gets rolled out actually works for the business and, passes muster with the regulators. Without them, it's just tech for tech's sake.
All right, so those are the core roles that are evolving. Let's pivot now to the brand new roles, the ones being created just for Pharma 4.0. First up, I'm seeing IoT engineers and connectivity specialists.
Yeah, these are the pros who design and maintain the sensor networks, the edge computing, all the infrastructure that lets you collect data from everything, everywhere, all at once.
So they're kind of walking this line between information technology IT and operational technology OT. What does that actually mean for a strategist?
It's a huge operational and security shift. Think about it. OT is the factory floor, the machines making the product. IT is the corporate network. For decades, they were kept completely separate, air-gapped for security.
Like 2 different continents.
Exactly. Now, Pharma 4.0 says they have to talk to each other constantly. So the IoT engineers are building the secure bridges for that data to travel safely.
And they're building AI directly into the sensors now, too.
The really advanced ones are. They're integrating AI algorithms for real-time analysis, for predictive maintenance. It's a game changer for compliance.
Okay, next new role. the digital validation specialist. This is an evolution of the traditional validation engineer.
Right, and their unique challenge is validating these complex computerized systems, and specifically validating the results from AI and machine learning algorithms. We sometimes call these black boxes because you can't always see the exact logic inside.
Yeah.
The machine learns the rules itself.
So how on earth do you validate something when you can't see inside the box?
Well, you have to focus on the inputs, the outputs, and the risk. They use new concepts like risk-based validation, continuous monitoring. It's all about ensuring the system stays predictable and compliant, even if the AI's internal logic shifts over time. And this isn't just about ticking a box, it actually helps speed up drug development.
And finally, a role that's becoming absolutely critical, cybersecurity specialists with pharma expertise.
The pharma industry is probably one of the most attractive targets for cyber criminals on the planet. It's not just patient data, it's the clinical trial results, it's the intellectual property, the patents, the secret formulas.
Billions and billions of dollars of IP.
Absolutely. So their focus has to be on both traditional IT security and protecting the actual machines making the medicine. It's an incredibly complex security challenge.
So we've laid out all the talent we need, but finding them, that's the monumental hurdle, isn't it? Which brings us to this strategic dilemma. Do you reskill your current team, or do you try to recruit from this tiny external talent pool?
The market reality is it's brutal. The research we looked at shows about a 60% gap between demand and supply for AI-skilled people in pharma.
60%. That's not a gap, that's a chasm.
It's a talent desert. And even when you find someone with the tech skills, they're missing the context. The data is clear. Nearly 70% of hiring managers say they struggle to find people with that blend of pharma expertise and AI skills.
So this is why reskilling becomes so attractive. It's a way to protect your institutional knowledge.
That's precisely it. You've already got people who understand GMP, who know the company culture, who know the systems. Why would you want to lose that?
And the numbers really make the case. Organizations that invest in reskilling see a 25% increase in employee retention.
Which is huge. And financially, it's just a no-brainer. Recruiting can cost up to 50% more than a reskilling program. It is simply cheaper to add the new skill layer than to replace the entire person.
Plus, you get immediate efficiency gains. The sources point to a 15% improvement in overall operational efficiency.
Right, because you're combining the new skills with that deep existing familiarity. And we have to stress this. For the people working in pharma right now, this isn't just some optional career boost. 70% of them say their roles have already changed because of AI. The ground is shifting under their feet as we speak.
The research even outlines a clear career path for these roles, like for data scientists. It's not just one ladder up.
No, you see a fork in the road. There's the management track, becoming a director or a VP, managing people and budgets. But there's also an individual contributor leadership track. This lets the top technical experts stay focused on the tech, advancing to roles like principal or distinguished or fellow. You don't have to become a manager to be a leader.
So, if reskilling is the clear strategic move, how are the best companies actually making it happen? What do the organizational solutions look like?
Well, internal upskilling programs are the obvious starting point. They're cost-effective because you're building on what people already know. But they have to be flexible.
Right. And the sources mentioned blended learning, which is designed around a full-time worker's schedule. Things like online modules, evening classes.
Exactly. And we're also seeing a lot of success with structured work-based learning, like apprenticeships and degree apprenticeships. They combine the theory with hands-on, real-world training so the new skills are immediately useful.
But training programs alone can't fix a rigid organization. I was struck by this quote from the research. It said the biggest hurdle to digitalization is a lack of cross-cultural thinking, working and acting in silos.
Oh, absolutely. Silos are the enemy of integration. That's why breaking them down with qualified, cross-functional teams is it's essential. Right. You need IT, operations, R&D, quality, regulatory, everyone at the same table.
It seems like common sense, but it's so rarely done well. What's the real goal of getting them together?
The goal is sharing knowledge and building the whole organization's competency. You get data-driven, transparent decisions, and you make sure digitalization gets done safely, efficiently, and compliantly.
And finally, there's this idea of fostering a culture of continuous learning, using things like innovation labs or learning centers.
Right. This is about advanced skill development and giving people exposure to tech that isn't even fully rolled out yet. It drives innovation, it improves clinical trials, and it helps people get comfortable with these complex AI solutions. The companies that get this right, They see reskilling as a long-term investment, not a one-time cost. And that's what unlocks the potential of all this technology.
That was a fantastic deep dive. So to quickly recap for everyone listening, the future pharma professional needs a hybrid skill set, technical know-how plus deep domain knowledge. Strategic reskilling is proving to be far better for retention and cost than just trying to recruit. And organizationally, you have to break down the silos.
And it all points back to that one central truth we started with. Human capital is the single most critical factor for success in Pharma 4.0. Without a workforce that's prepared, flexible, and cross-trained, the best technology in the world will just sit there.
So let's leave you with a final thought to mull over. The research makes it clear that with technology evolving, this fast, lifelong reskilling is becoming critical. Skills have a shorter and shorter shelf life. So the question for you is this: what organizational and personal structures have to change right now, not next year, but today, to ensure you can stay competitive when yesterday's expertise is already becoming obsolete? It's really a question of how we make learning the default state of being for every single professional.